New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
And hello again, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you here on a Friday evening. It is 7:30 on the Mountain Time Zone, and that means it's time for Ask Me Anything. It also happens to be the last Friday of the month, so this is the time we do this program. Once a month, I come and sit here for 90 minutes or maybe less. Depends on how the questions go and who's asking what and how everything's happening. And we tune in for 90 minutes of Ask Me Anything. Ask me my favorite ice cream flavor. Asking me my favorite color. Ask me about what's happening in the New Thought movement. Ask me about what's happening around New Thought Media Network or the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley or any of the interesting things that I'm a part of. And as long as it's public knowledge and something I can talk about, I will talk about it. You never know what you might get me talking about, depending on the questions you ask. So I know you're out there, and you can join the conversation. Or if you'd like to come on screen with me and ask questions live on air, happy to do that as well. Want to send a friend of mine a message here because our feed to Facebook, everybody, it's the Facebook feed. The Facebook feed is having its problems tonight, and we are not going to make it through to the Facebook feed. But let's see if we can grab the YouTube feed and share that with a couple people in a couple of places. And we will try to let those folks over on Facebook know where we are, because I know there were a couple, but this thing ain't doing right. Facebook not playing nice. Join me on YouTube. Yep. All right. Okay, Catherine. Hello, Catherine. Read your Substack article about expanding New Thought in Europe. Talk more about that. Absolutely. Let's pull up that article. We'll share that with people. Let you see a little bit of what we're talking about here. And for those that maybe don't know, yes, we have a Substack that here we go. I'll move this over here. Bring this up on the stage. There it is. No. Wait. That's not what I want. Here's what I want. New Thought in Europe, Bridging the Gap. It's a nice little article, I think. And you can find it on our Substack. Let's go back there and make sure we highlight so you see. Oh, no, that's not it. This is one thing I have found about Substack, is it sometimes can be hard to get to the place where we can see all of our own stuff and not necessarily well, it doesn't seem to be working. Hey, you are all getting to see how much I There it is. Okay. um, here's what our Substack looks like normally. And you can see all of our various writings here. So, Catherine, thank you for kicking this off. What this today's article was about, and I normally publish on Tuesdays and Fridays on Substack, folks. Tuesdays and Fridays, and let's drop the chat into the comments. There you go. See, that is very, very interesting. Now it would appear that the Facebook avenues have gone live. Good evening, Wayne. Strange and interesting stuff going on out there. Okay, so New Thought isn't new to Europe by any means. And for quite a long time, and still, we have some great friends in Europe that that keep New Thought alive throughout Europe. Hey, my dear beloved watching. Thanks, honey. She's upstairs. Thank you. I love you. You're great. So we've had connections and friends and colleagues in throughout Europe, and of various stripes of the New Thought philosophy. And she and I got into a conversation recently, and that's always kind of been a question because of a number of different factors, which this article sort of touches on. New Thought created in America, in North America. New Thought, predominantly a North American philosophy, religion kind of thing, and for whatever reason, while there have been many forays of bringing New Thought over to that part of the world, it hasn't met with let's say it hasn't met with the success that many would like. How's that sound? Does that sound fair? I think it sounds fair. And so because of that, there's sort of an ongoing and ever-evolving question of, well, what would it take for the New Thought philosophy? Now, I want to be very clear, we're not talking religious science, we're not talking divine science, we're not talking unity and Fillmorian teachings. We're talking of the conglomeration, the collaboration, the connection of all of these into what I think is a bit bigger than any one of the three, and that is New Thought. And what this article that I published today, lays out is some of the ideas and perspectives on what it might take to not to plant churches and not to try to influence the religious world or the spiritual world in Europe, but to make New Thought something that's more applicable to our lives, to the everyday aspects of our lives. And you can say that this was, also something that we could do more of in the United States. And as I read my own article through this afternoon, as I was looking at my last draft, and I'm like, all right, here's all my points, and I'm reading through all my points and how I put them together, I realized there is sort of a prescription on how to build or how to go about nurturing the consciousness, the concept of a New Thought community, really regardless of location, but by taking advantage and participating in the unique aspects of what's available, of the culture where we are. And in Europe, as this article spells out, there are various avenues you can look at: the philosophical perspective, You can also look at the social aspect of it, being focused around going to festivals or other things, and all the rich cultural heritage. Again, not trying to influence that or infiltrate that, but showing up and just being New Thought in that. Catherine, that's a great yes and no from my perspective. That New Thought here in the U.S. was a new way of looking at the Bible, a new way of interpreting it, but it is definitely time to get away from those Christian roots. I think it is time to get away from the trappings of those Christian roots, the manifestations, and this article speaks to that also, that we don't want to look like a church, because Europe's pretty either done with church or protective of their heritage and the church they've always had. So, and I don't know that we can ever get away from nor would we want to really get away from the Christian teachings that are the alignment, that are not the abuse, the way it's been abused, the way those teachings have been manipulated and used to abuse. I don't want to lose the teachings of Jesus. I don't want to lose the early understanding of apostles and how the parables are examples of how we can utilize those principles in our lives, because what we talk about is that that now more than ever we have to live the New Thought principles as if we were all disciples. And so I don't want to lose any of that. However, I think there is a more modernized way to present what we know as universal truth, what our experiments have led us to believe, and to understand. And and I look at other things too. Is right now I'm really excited because we are 16 days away from the premiere of episode 5 of The Chosen. And for those that maybe aren't familiar, this is a pop icon, pop morality, a pop art, not really art, but such a more contemporary way to say, here's the story, and here's how we can look at it without all the extra religiosity, and just how to live a good life, just how to be a good person. And they're in season 5 of The Chosen, so I think I'm pretty sure I understand how the whole thing's going to end. But I still want to see how we get there. And with New Thought, I'm not really sure how it all is going to end. But I'm still really, really excited to see how we get there. Let me hear it in the chat box. How do we get there? How do we, as individuals and as communities, and anybody that hangs around and listens to me at all knows that I am super big on we do our inner work so that we can do the same work in our communities, in the organizations we serve, in the places where we show up, in the ways we help and support the expansion of New Thought across the planet. So expanding New Thought to Europe, maybe expanding is not exactly the perfect title for this one. Maybe could be a different word. And one of the words I'm really big on lately, I want to share this. I've been really big on the word revival lately. Just keep showing up in my visioning, showing up in inspirations, because I don't want to I don't want to imply that anything that is happening out there is broken or wrong. There are things in the New Thought movement, there are organizations, there are movements of consciousness, of thinking, and what we teach is that movement of consciousness that we can that will keep going. It's just never ending. So our consciousness is constantly moving and in flux and in motion, and therefore our experiences are as well. And what we choose, how we choose to experience all of this today, tomorrow, will be different, is different than it was, and will be different than it will be, because as long as we're staying on with the flow of consciousness. There are those experiences where people get kind of stuck, maybe, in trying to, I don't know, make America great again or something. There's all kinds of weird ideas that people come up with that are those stuck consciousness, where we don't have the revival. Yes, and Catherine, you're absolutely right? It's a word, word that we pull right out of the Christian world is, and what was that revival? I don't think need be the way we do revival any longer in the future, moving forward. Think about it for a minute. Imagine what would happen if there was a whole new branch of the New Thought movement, a whole new current. Let's use some moving type words here. If there's a whole current of emerging, evolving New Thought that is influenced by Ernest Holmes and the Fillmores and the Katies and the Brooks and the contemporary authors and the contemporary preachers and the contemporary ministers and teachers. So many good and rich people out there in the world that are doing great work. And what if there is a network, a way of connection, a way of tapping into that current in Europe? Doesn't mean I'm doing it. Doesn't mean we are. It doesn't mean anybody watching this program today is doing it, because the truth of the matter is it's like 4 a.m. in Switzerland right now, and I highly doubt anybody that's going to activate this vision over there is up and watching this program at this time. Yeah, someone might catch it later on the replay or at another point, but there's an opportunity, I believe, to hold in our own consciousness that this philosophy can blossom and bloom and blossom and grow. But again, what I'm kind of talking about in this Substack article is it's not going to look like it did when it happened here in North America. It's not going to look like churches. It's going to look different. It might look like lecture halls filled with people, with people that have more of that intellectual and want to approach this from the philosophical side. It might be more small group, in-home church, home-based church. All right, sorry, going to use a church word. Right, more home-based community where people can come together to study and recognize that they're tapped into something bigger. So I think in the old days, before the internet, before we had instant connection, before we had this global family that we could reach out and touch at almost any moment, we needed to have big churches. We needed to have those big congregational come-togethers, and we needed to have that because that was the only way to share the philosophy, really. You had to get people together. And during that, so a small family-based community or meeting in somebody's living room always tried to grow larger and bigger. I'm okay if some groups and right, we need that. Some communities are going to not try to be big, huge churches. And so sometimes I think we make the mistake by trying to look at the size of a congregation as equal to our measurement of success. The measurement of success, I would have to think, is how many people are changing their life based on the support, the influence, what you're providing them as well. Wayne, you ask a question, you get an answer. That's how this game works, everybody. You ask a question and you get an answer. Will I ever shake your hand? Yes, Wayne, that's going to happen. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen in August of this year, but it is going to happen. The day will come when we do shake hands. I promise you that, sir. So, let's flip this just a little bit. If you look at it, beyond taking new thought into greater realms and greater expressions, one of the things I would love to hear, and I don't know how this is going to work yet, so we haven't really done this. I might surprise a few people. I might surprise a few people on my team when I share some of this, but I've been getting this hit lately that I really want to come back and focus in on some demonstrations. And it doesn't have to be big stuff. It's not like, oh, I did a prayer and so is cured of a health disease, or, oh, so-and-so, I want to hear more and more about the everyday stuff. I want to actually start writing about it. And I want to encourage more people to start sharing our stories and sharing the big wins and the little wins. I'm going to answer Wayne real quick, and I'm going to come back to this. Yes, Wayne, I am talking about the New Thought Conference in Banff in August. I will unfortunately not be in attendance, but I know it's in your neighborhood, and that would have been a chance for us to shake hands. So I want us to start looking at how we celebrate each other through documenting our demonstrations, our celebrations. And we have a way to do that. Dun, dun, dun. Excuse me. I crack myself up sometimes. If you head over to the website, ntmedia.org/prayer, then what happens is you'll have an opportunity to fill out a prayer form. ntmedia.org/prayer. Over there, you'll have a chance to fill out a prayer form. Now, that prayer form goes to all of our practitioners, all of our prayer partners, all of the people that help make sure that we have a daily prayer twice a day, 8:15 a.m. and p.m. Mountain Time. As a matter of fact, my dearly beloved Lara is here watching now, and she's about 20 minutes. She's going to jump off and go do the prayer and then come back and join us for the last half hour. And so we have the prayer team, and what you put into that form will go out to the prayer team in real time. Everybody on the prayer team gets it. And I'm going to start reminding the prayer team, and I'm going to model this starting tomorrow morning. And maybe if Laura gets one before then, tonight. But I'll start modeling this tomorrow morning, that we're going to start talking about and announcing and sharing your wins. Now, we don't have to use your whole name, and maybe we just use your first name and last initial, or we use your whole name or whatever. But we want to start, depends on who you are and how close you are to the network, I guess. And it's, and I want to start documenting how this New Thought philosophy is supporting you in your life on a daily basis. How's it showing up? How is it working? Maybe it's little things. Maybe it's the little things. In the mail today, I received an unexpected check for a couple $100. Thank you to the person that signed that check. And thank you to the universe. Thank you for the support, for the demonstration of how my ministry, my work, my family, my life is fully funded, securely funded by the work I do through this divine thing called life, and money flows into our lives as necessary. And I may not know exactly the reason. I know a couple places where this can be spent, and I want to celebrate that. What's happening in your world, in your life, that proves to you, that reminds you, you know what you're talking about when it comes to this New Thought stuff. That reminds you and proves to the world that you understand there is a power in your word, that there is a power for good in the universe, and that you are using it, and that you are using it for good. And reminding each of us that we have the ability to change the conditions of our lives through the power of our mind. That is pure science of mind. We have the power to change the condition of our lives through the power of our word. If you're out there watching, folks, good evening. Well, I know you are. This is Ask Me Anything. Happens once a month here on the New Thought Media Network, Friday evening, 7:30 to 9 o'clock p.m. 90-minute program. What am I thinking? I'm thinking you all have some questions you might want to ask, and you are welcome to ask them. Let us know where you are in the world. Give a shout out. Say hello. Even if you're watching at another time or in another dimension, we're happy to know you're here, so we'd love to hear from you and know a little bit more about you. And I do want to give a shout out to the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. It is thanks to their generous support and belief in what we're doing here that we're able to bring you this program on Friday evenings. This is fully sponsored by the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. Check out what's happening. It's a community of love, and love lives there. Come join us online on the first and the third Sunday of every month at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. That means this Sunday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, or live and in person on the second and fourth Sundays of every month. And hey, while we're talking about it, I want to share with you something really fun we're going to do this month on the fourth Sunday, June 8th. It starts at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. We're calling it Boulder Valley's Best New Thought Open Mic and Potluck Experience. That is a mouthful, and we trust that you'll have a mouthful of good, yummy food, because we really do have the best potluck in Boulder Valley. And it's an open mic, so bring a poem, bring a spoken word piece, bring a song to share, bring your guitar. Please don't bring your drums, but bring your guitar. There's a piano on site. Poet Val will be helping to guide our poetry experience. My dear beloved Laura and I will be sharing some spiritual inspirations, and of course our musical inspiration with Kelly. Oh my gosh, excuse me, with Janice Kelly. That's going to be really, really, really fun. Yes, it is. And keep your eyes open. You might just see some clips of that. Not going to do this broadcast live. You got to be live with us in Boulder Valley. So anybody in the Denver metro area, or if you want to travel in, hey, if you want to fly in for the weekend, let me know. I might have a futon here you can borrow. Either way, we're going to have a good time. There we go. All right. Hey, we got a question here from Wayne. I didn't see this come through. Wayne, I'm going to answer that one, because if it's got a question mark on it, I'm going to answer it. How can oneness believers work together? Oh, well, Wayne, one of the ways is, this is going to sound kind of set up, but one of the great ways we could all work together is volunteer here at New Thought Media Network. If you've got an hour or two a week that you can put towards something, and you value what we're doing here on New Thought Media Network, we have all kinds of opportunities, from behind the scenes to in front of the camera, helping other creators get their program out. Maybe it's editing a website or a blog post. Maybe you like to edit video or want to create video and want to get into the animation game. Maybe it's just being a voice on our radio station. Do you guys all remember we have a radio station? Maybe it's joining our prayer team. Any way you can think, we probably could put you to work or get your volunteer hours in. So, but other things, now more than ever, I think there is a blending of both in-person community and virtual community. So however it is, let's getting these believers of oneness to work together. Absolutely. And it all begins with each one of us, is reaching out across that false belief in denominationalism that we sometimes see in New Thought, reaching out and saying, let's work together. Let's have a project together. Let's share something. Let's create something together. Whether it's a one-time event or something that's recurring, it really just takes the initiative to say, hey, let's work together. And if we set an initiative, if we set an intention, if we make any step forward towards that dream, then it is the universe's great pleasure to rise up and meet us, for the ground beneath us to rise up and support us as we move forward in these ideas. And that's how New Thought Media Network and that's how New Thought Media Network came to be, is in a way that we want to be available as best as possible. Not every situation works, and not every situation happens the way that we would like. And yet, the end result, we are each here serving and supporting each other in some way. Wayne, you have another good question here. Should schizophrenic people volunteer? Wayne, that's a very deep question that I have to believe can only be handled in a one-on-one situation. There is no fast rule here. There is no navigable chart. There's no flow chart on how this works, on how that works. There's no workflow on how we can help people experience the fullness of spiritual community through volunteering. Again, some situations are not going to work. Some situations will not be beneficial for everyone involved. But I do believe that everyone is on this planet to bring a unique set of gifts and skills and talents, and those gifts and skills and talents find their way to expression. So it is a matter of the balance between it is the balance between the give and the take, It is a balance between the necessity to know that certain tasks are staffed and the ability to be flexible to allow for perhaps a different, unique form or demonstration of volunteering to show forth. Althea Cherie, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but in Miami, Florida. Yep. Now you do have some good Unity communities down there in South Florida, and there are some CSLs around. And please do remember that Fort Lauderdale, you also have Bishop Darrell Watkins at the Sunshine Cathedral, and now the Sunshine Cathedral and Bishop Darrell is a more on the divine science, well, much more on the divine science side of the family tree, as it were, and you will see a bit more of a Christian type service there. However, as he and his husband are both openly gay and very prophetic about it, you also will see a much more inclusive community there, I think, than in some places throughout South Florida. I don't have the email, his website, but do a search for Sunshine Cathedral. They are really good, and they do a really good job in their social media too. And Friday afternoons, 4 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Mountain time, 4 o'clock Eastern. Bishop Darrell, our dear friend Reverend Jeff Radcliffe, and also Reverend Joy Fletcher, 3 Divine Science ministers, have a program here on New Thought Media Network, Divine Science Anywhere. I don't have a placard for you to show you that one, I'm sorry. But they're here every week at 2 o'clock Mountain time, Divine Science Anywhere. Everywhere, sorry. And of course, all these programs are on our playlist. So remember, you can find any of this on our playlists on YouTube. Will Reiki heal the planet? Not alone. But I believe that all healing modalities and all beneficial modalities are part of the mix. So we're not doing anybody any harm with Reiki. I can't see how we'd be doing any harm to the planet. And I have yet to see, at least I don't know of any complete and total physical healings from Reiki alone. I would imagine there are some in the various ways that in our mental body or physical body. And I'm not trying to downplay the healing practice of Reiki and the modality itself. I would say the same about spiritual mind treatment. I don't think prayer alone is going to solve all of our concerns. I don't think prayer alone will heal the planet. I think there is a great mix of modalities that are going to be that are necessary and that are happening. So invite you to join us in that exploration. Good questions. Digging in. I had a notification to see if somebody's trying to ask a question off of text. We had that happening today. I loved it. People were texting in their questions. All right. 40 minutes in, folks. We're almost halfway there. I want to thank you for being a part of what we're doing and sharing with us. I'm going to take a quick little break. And while I do, I want to invite you to stay with us and help me say thank you to our organizational sponsors and our individual donors. You know, it takes an awful lot to make this network run and keep our broadcasts happening. Give us the space and the time to write these Substack posts and serve in the various ways we do. And part of all of that is possible thanks to the generous donations of our individual donors and our corporate organizational sponsors. So we're going to take just a quick minute to say thank you to them. And I'm going to get a sip of water, but we're going to come right back with more of Ask Me Anything here on the New Thought Media Network. Hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. We'll be right back after this. Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring. Yes. Thank you to all of our organizational sponsors and individual donors. If you'd like to learn more about becoming a contributing member of New Thought Media Network, please head on over to our website, ntmedia.org. Click on the donate button, and we'll get in touch. And, well, make a donation, and then we will get in touch. ntmedia.org/donate. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All right, we're over there. All right, let's see. I say I ask any, I'll answer any question. How can New Thought Media Network find a larger audience? Better marketing and a bigger budget for advertising. So, better marketing. That's what's going to help us gain a larger audience. Althea, coming back. Yes. I can understand that. I can understand wanting to move away from the Christian influence. Yes, my understanding is CSL Fort Lauderdale, John Waterhouse is just leaving there, which is kind of, always had a great respect for Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse. He's been there in Fort Lauderdale, but I believe there's someone new coming in there, and that's always, it's always fun. I believe it's always good to be a part of a community when there's a new energy and there's a new minister coming in, and there's an opportunity for new growth. New growth isn't always easy. New growth can sometimes be a little painful, and new growth often doesn't happen as rapidly as we would like. I've got more than a few plants that it seems like forever for that new leaf to come in sometimes. And then you turn your back, and the next thing you know, there's more leaves and you didn't even see them come in. So growth takes its own way. and in communities, that's so very important. So, I encourage each one of us is going to find our own avenue. And that's really important, because first off, if we were all doing exactly the same thing, if we were all saying the exact same thing, if we were all some sort of weird psychic clone of each other, this wouldn't be very fun. And I think for me, part of what's fun about life is the back and the forth, is that appearance that things are different, but my ability to come to a deeper understanding of the oneness of it all. I like that we have some of the push-pull in the world, because it moves us away. Again, it looks like separation, but it's actually helping us to remember that we are one, and we can move away from the separation or the false belief in separation to move into a greater receptivity of absolute truth, of absolute oneness. if it was easy, if all we had to do was lay around and think all day, if we didn't have to get out into the world and live in the world, what would be the point of living here on this world? We've been talking a little bit about Substack tonight, and there's an author that and here's what I love truly about Substack, what I think is the absolute bomb, the bee's knees about this thing, is that I'm constantly being introduced to people that are thinking and thinking differently. And I want to see if I can get back to this. It is always a little tricky to figure out how to navigate this platform and find my way back to where the authors are that I would like to most see, and that I would like to yeah, see, I can't figure out where it takes me. But anyway, my point in all that, I'm going to ramble a little bit of that. Sorry. My point in all of that is that there's a new writer I've been introduced to, and the name of their platform, their page, I don't know what we want to call it on Substack, is Chop Wood, Carry Water. Now, I think most people in New Thought have probably heard that phrase at least once, if not more, across time. And I believe it's a woman. Here we go. I'm not 100% sure why certain things do what they do. But she writes a daily reminder of how we can be active in the world of politics, social justice, and other things, but keeping to a concept or a philosophy of nonviolence. So we're chopping wood and carrying water. And I'm reading her now, and I've been reading some of her stuff, and we're getting it, and I'm going to continue to read her for a while. And it may turn out that maybe I don't like how she's going about it, or maybe it's not quite my flavor and that's okay. And that's why I encourage us to be more open to new thought rather than just Unity or CSL or I'm an independent, but to be open to all the various avenues of how the divine is revealing itself. And truthfully, if you can't find one near you like, then start one. Not as hard as most people make it out to be. Ernest Holmes said, just get a good group of people together and let them run it. But there's so many ways to engage with what we're doing, and more importantly, I think sometimes it's increasingly obvious how far-reaching this philosophy has come in popular culture, in the everyday world. And I think we need to go further. I think we need to go further and further and further. I think we need to step into the everyday aspect of our lives as a demonstration of new thought. Hear me? Imagine what would happen if everyone that we know that is aware of new thought was truly stepping forward into their lives every day in every way as an emissary of new thought. There's a lot of people out there that every day in every interaction, they remind the people around them that Jesus loves them. I believe we can find ways to remind those around us every day in so many ways that deeply we are one. That you and I are one. that you and he, she, or they are one. Imagine what's going to happen when we have a collective community, not bound by religiosity, not bound by mandate or dictate from a home office or the mother church or some long dead prophet. But when we are truly expressing oneness as New Thought, I believe that I shall see that day. On my side of the fence, in my upbringing, we used to joke that, it was sometimes, well, I go to the Church of Religious Science. People go, what? Oh, I go to the Church of Religious Science? Because we were misinformed, we were misled, we were misbelieving that standing up and saying I am a religious scientist, we were led to believe that was something we should hide, that people don't understand that people, what, Scientology? No. And truthfully, in all my years, I probably have only ever heard that line, what, Scientology, like once or twice. We made that crap up. We made it up that people wouldn't understand us if we stood firmly on our philosophy and said, I go to the Church of Religious Science. I am a religious scientist. I study religions. I am a scientist of human consciousness. I am a scientist of spiritual living. I create hypotheses. I test those hypotheses with some sort of experimentation. And if I see a positive result, I document that and try to repeat it. And if I don't, I document that and create a new hypothesis, create a new experiment, whatever it is. But we lost that. We lost that opportunity. And we decided to say that we are now centers for spiritual living. Yes, I am a center for spiritual living, as are you. We don't need a box. We don't need a building. We don't need a rental space. We don't need pews, and we don't need microphones. Those things are nice. If we're growing, if we're growing if we're trying to grow a traditional church. But if you've been with me tonight, you know that I think we're about something bigger. Purple. Yes. Wayne's asking, what color is my lightsaber? Purple. I want to get a purple hat. I want to put together a purple hat. I'm just not sure what to put on the front of it. We are one, or together we are stronger, or make America love again, make America one again. I mean, there's all kinds of things we could put on a purple hat. Not a red or a blue hat, a purple hat. Thanks for playing along, Wayne. Everybody else, thanks for indulging us. There is an opportunity before us, I believe, to bring all that New Thought has been over the years. From Horatio Dresser to Emily Cady to the Brooks sisters, to Thomas Trower, Ernest Holmes, the Fillmores, David Alexander to David Walker, Michael Beckwith to Michael Gott. Who's next? Who else? Everyone. every minister, every practitioner, every member, every individual that is in any way contributed to the growth and evolution of New Thought has been doing the good work. And whether we came through the Divine Science camp, or we came through the Unity community, or whether we were brought up in religious science and now maybe all we know is CSL. Maybe you've only found this in the last 10 years and don't know the history and don't care, or would like to know more and we can help you with that. Or no matter how you've gotten to here, I believe what is important is that we begin working towards the demonstration of the vision, of the bigger vision, of that all-encompassing vision. Should psychics wear conical hats? Not specifically, Wayne. Not specifically. And not exclusively either. Am I a wizard? I don't know. I don't know that. Do I cast spells? I guess. There have been those that have equated the process of spiritual mind treatment to casting a spell. So in that regards, am I a wizard? Maybe. Have I been around this philosophy long enough to know better? Yeah. Does that make me a wizard? Yeah, maybe. Do I keep coming back? Yeah. Does that make me a wizard? Yes. Do I want to do more and leave the type of legacy where it's not about my name, it's about what we have done together. It's about how we have shown up together. And if someone wants to call me a wizard, call me a wizard. You want to call me doctor? Call me doctor. You want to call me reverend? Call me reverend. Please just don't call me late to dinner. And there are a few of you in the room that knew that joke was coming as soon as you heard me setting it up. So, am I a wizard? Maybe, perhaps. Do I use intentional affirmations? Absolutely. Do I channel? Perhaps. If I'm channeling, it's not what most people would consider. It probably doesn't have the muster or the justification to that some would call channeling. And the way I look at it is, I am opening to a higher power that is greater than I am. And on occasion, it speaks more than I do. On occasion, I speak more than it does. Althea, wonderful. A friend's going to buy my copy of the Science by Mind book. All right. Well, that's good. And thank you, Althea, because you gave me the perfect lead in. Let me show you all this real quick, because we do something here that I think is kind of special. And it happens on Saturday morning. So I'm going to share this with you. And I'm going to slip out and take a quick rest break. This is only a minute long, but it'll explain. And I think this is, I think you and your friend might appreciate this, Althea. Yeah, there it is. So every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, one of the members of that team that you just saw there go across on the little video reel, one member of that team comes forward and shares a lesson on and questions and answers on a specific chapter in the Science of Mind text. And we move forward from chapter by chapter throughout the year. So tomorrow, all right, if you're catching all this, this is happening tomorrow, and tomorrow is the chapter that is called "The Principles of Successful Living," chapter 16, and yours truly will be sharing those readings and that lesson. So we'll come together 9 o'clock, and I'll share and answer questions, much like we did tonight. But it'll all be around that chapter 16 in the Science of Mind, and let's see if we get a little oh yeah, a little sneak peek. There's a whole lot of good stuff in here that we're going to talk about tomorrow. True prayer must be thy will be done, but the implication relative to the will of God is this prayer is not a submission to the inevitability of evil or limitation. It is a knowledge that the will of God is always good. Ooh. Yes. There is good. The way to work is to begin right where we are, and through constantly applying ourselves to truth, we gradually increase in wisdom and understanding. For this is the way. For in this way alone will good results be obtained. I love reading Ernest Holmes. I'm a Science of Mind kid at heart, but I have a big, deep appreciation for the road that's traveled by the Unity movement and everyone that made that possible. I am in great awe and appreciation of those that have moved the divine science movement forward and continue to this day to keep the divine science philosophy alive. We are all together New Thought. Quick question here that I missed. Are prayers being open to the divine, or is it meditation? It is an affirmation of truth, Wayne, as I see it. Prayers are an affirmation of the truth as we know it. We're doing nothing to try to convince anybody. We are open to allow for a revelation as it may occur. And it is, in my opinion, not necessarily a meditation. However, a prayer or a treatment can be embedded within a meditation. But they are kind of mutually exclusive for me. There's a great book by Ernest Holmes, Can We Talk to God? And in that, I have always felt that prayer, as we know it, affirmative spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, is a directive form of communicating with God. It is the directive in that this is how I see it. This is boom, 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 and this is the way it is. Meditation is more of that receptive form of communication. And being in that place of allowing, listening more, less direction. And then life visioning, is our two-way form of communication, where we ask questions and we're directive in what it is that we wish to know or what we wish to experience, but then we're allowing and listening for the input, for the return, for the feedback, for the revelation, for that newness, for that truth to come into our awareness. And so visioning is kind of that two-way form of communicating. DYKTMN. TMM. Do you know the mastermind? Yes. Otherwise, I'm not sure what that one is, Wade. So no worries. All right, folks, we've got a little under half an hour left here, or less. That's all up to you, because I could sit here and babble on forever. Well, yeah, probably. I might need to get up, and take a few more bathroom breaks, and I might need to refresh my seltzer water here tonight. Almost out of seltzer water here tonight. But thanks, Althea. We'll look forward to seeing you. And yes, let your friends know. Wayne's got a question. Can I make the voices behave? Yes, you can, Wayne. Yes, you can. You may not be able to make them go away completely or ever, but you absolutely can make them behave. Althea, what time zone are you in? Let us know where you are in the world. We're on the mountain time zone is what time. And for anybody that's watching our broadcast, we always try to make sure that all of our shows are the images, the promotions, all that share both the mountain time zone, because that's where we're based, and the local time zone of the host. So if you see a show that is at 4 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Eastern, sorry, wrong way, 2 o'clock Mountain, 4 o'clock Eastern, then you know that the hosts are on the East Coast. And if you see a show that is, let's say, 9 a.m. Pacific and 10 a.m. Mountain, then you know that the host is on the Pacific time zone. Because we always try to list the our home time zone of the mountain time and the time zone of the host of the program. That's not quite as easy to do on the Sunday mornings, because we have hosts on, or Saturday mornings, because we have hosts on pretty much every time zone. So that's the way that is. We'd love to see you on Saturday mornings. It's always a good time. I am not the speaker every week. With a team of 6, it's great. You might get somebody a couple of times within a 6-week period, but then not see them for a while, and then they come back in later in the series, and we have a deeper opportunity, great opportunities. And the second half of the year, some of you may have already recognized this, that program runs out of chapters, in about the end of January or July, about middle to late July, we run out of chapters in the book. So at that point, we switch over to the Science of Mind archives, and we start to share and learn and study together from various resources that are available in the Science of Mind archives as well. Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, I come from Science Mind, so that's the primary for me, but we really do make an effort to make sure that we have unity ministers and congregations and communities represented here, and divine science ministers represented here, and of course, and independents, those that have that are taking various parts of all of these philosophies and aren't restricted to just one. But we can bring forward the wisdom of all the teachers, of all the answers. We've got 20 minutes. Drop in your questions now. Oh, yes. Thank you, Althea. The Roots and Branches show here has been great. As you pointed out, there are many folks involved in what we call New Thought. Exactly. And thanks for the shout out. So Roots and Branches is every Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. Here it is, 4 o'clock Mountain Time. Reverend Dr. Ruth Miller, she is president of the Emerson Institute Theological Center, and we're exploring the history and the future of New Thought. So what she's been doing is individual episodes on the pioneers, These are all going into a playlist you can find on our YouTube page. And I think this is becoming a fabulous resource, learning resource for not only historians, but new students that want to learn the New Thought history, not just the history of your denomination. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And once we run out of those historical figures, I know that Dr. Ruth is planning to then start speaking to more contemporary folk and highlighting the generation past the founders, some of which may still be with us in the physical form, some of which have moved on into their forever bodies, their forever form, beyond the human form, and moved into back into their forever form. And then eventually the third stage of this whole program is the active ministers and ministers that are active today. So eventually we will have a vast library of and a historical timeline, if you will, through interviews and presentations of all of New Thought. Part of what I love about what we're doing here, because it can just take on it can take on so many different forms and so many different ways that this philosophy comes forward. From the New Thought men's community to Science of Mind archives to the Jack Addington International New Thought archives. What's happening at Unity Village right now with organizations working together and coming together on that campus. The emergence of New Thought Media Network and what we're doing, and our work towards moving towards an intentional community. I think it's important that the vision continues to reveal itself and continues to manifest itself. Excuse me. I'm going to have a little sip of that. Because the minute we become stagnant, we are as good as dead. As soon as we become stagnant, we're as good as dead. Can practitioners regularly pray together? Absolutely, Wayne, and they often do. Our practitioner team comes together once a month for a collaborative meeting where we pray together. And many of our practitioners are praying on not only on our prayer team for our prayer team, but also serving in other ways, praying with other teams throughout the movement. I am part of more than a few prayer circles that are made up of ministers only, or ministers and practitioners, where we are regularly in prayer together, sharing in the power of the word. And that doesn't, and we do have, I've got my prayer book sitting there on the shelf every day. If you're in that prayer book, if you make a request, you end up in that book. And and then for 5 days, every day, everything that goes in that book is held for 5 days or longer. It depends on what I feel at that point. But for the first 5 days, it's in the book and it's in my prayers on a daily basis. And if it feels like there's been a demonstration and I can let go of that, I do. And if it feels like I need to continue, I can as well. Well, thank you, Althea. I would have to say that I believe Spirit is, I enjoy being used in that way. And I think that's part of what my mission is to support people on following the New Thought path, what that means for them. And well, let's not say it that way, right? Because the New Thought path is not this, that, or the other thing, but to support people in finding their way with the New Thought principles, with the New Thought philosophy, with the New Thought practices. Glad you're with us, Althea. Look forward to continuing to see you around this mighty network. Or who knows? Perhaps we'll get to see each other out in the world somewhere. Let's talk about that for a minute, because I don't see a question, but I think y'all should know about it. Now, let me find the video. Where is it? We're all, that's the other thing I love, is we get to support other organizations in how they show up in the world, and how they're sharing the New Thought message. And here's one of those. Check this out.
Welcome to the Convention of the Americas 2025, Rising Together. Join us for a truly bilingual retreat experience on the shores of the beautiful Lake Chapala, Mexico. July 22nd through July 26th, 2025, at the Hotel Villa Monte Carlo in Jalisco, Mexico. Featuring Reverend Jeffrey Ryan, Dr. Jose de Lira Sosa, Reverend Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis, Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse, and Reverend Dr. David Bruner. Registration is now open, and payment plans are available. Simply visit www.conventionoftheamericas.com. Come be part of a transformative gathering with powerful presentations, workshops, networking time, and just good old relaxing and connecting. Plus, you can learn more about the science of mind and how to live this powerful philosophy in your life. Transform your life at Convention of the Americas 2025, Rising Together.
And registration is now open for this year's Convention of the Americas. The pool that you see there in that advertisement, that's the actual swimming pool at the Hotel Villa Monte Carlo. It is an amazing experience. I've been there the last couple of years supporting this community through video and other technologies to bring their message and their way of celebrating and sharing the New Thought message with the world. And I'll tell you, it is truly an amazing experience. It is completely bilingual, and people that are not Wayne, that might be on your side, brother. So the people there come from all over South America, South and Central America, to come together in Mexico. And it is an amazing retreat. And the language is not there are no barriers. I know almost no Spanish, and there is no problem in communicating, connecting, and creating real shared spiritual experience. And to me, that's what this is all about. It's all about shared spiritual experience. It don't matter if you're speaking the same language. It doesn't matter any of that, because we're having a shared spiritual experience. And spirit, the divine, the oneness of life, is absolutely revealing itself in that way. Each and every day. It's a pretty cool thing. Oh, May 30th. It's almost June 1st. Yeah, Wayne, I would check your speakers, brother. We could put that on a banner. Sorry that we're not coming through. Brother Wayne, check your speakers. There it is. Speakers. There it is. All right, we'll save it again. Althea, thanks for being with us tonight. Anyone else watching, my dearly beloved, thank you for being with us. Catherine over at the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley, thanks for being here with us tonight. Tanya Matten, thanks for being with us. Still not sure if I'm saying your name right or not, but I know I've seen it around a few times. Diana Stratton, thank you. Glad you're with us as well. Wayne is back and the sound is working. Good, sir. Good, good, good. Glad to hear that. We're close. I think we're going for our final call here. I don't know what more I want to talk about, or what more you want to hear about. But this would be that opportunity for final thoughts, final questions. If I have a final thought without a question, it is that I know that somehow, some way, every one of us is bringing a unique set of gifts and skills and talents to this thing called life. And what that means is who you are, how you show up in the world, the unique gifts that you bring. Absolutely necessary. Who you are and how you show up and the gifts that you bring are absolutely necessary to the evolution of human consciousness. And what happens is when human consciousness is elevated, when we start with our own and we raise up our consciousness, those around us have permission to raise theirs as well. And as we do that collectively, we start to see beyond the limitations. We start to see beyond the veil. We start to see beyond the false beliefs and the misperceptions and all the mist, all the seeming opposites and the seeming separation. And we come to a greater understanding of our oneness. As we do that individually and with the people around us, then it's easy to do that with the organizations that we belong to, the communities that we're a part of. And as communities and organizations of all sizes across this planet begin to operate from these new thought principles as the people that are making these things happen, as the supermarket checkers and our dry cleaners and our police officers and the people in the librarians, as everyone steps into a greater experience and expression of their oneness, all of life is lifted up. That's how it happens. That's how we're doing it. Reading list. Brother Wayne's asking for a recommended reading list. Today's entry, See No Stranger by Valerie Kaur. See No Stranger, a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love by Valerie Kaur. There's your recommended reading list for the week. And as I said, I will answer questions as there are some. So why do people think metaphysical teachings are cultish? Because they don't understand metaphysical teachings. Because they have not taken the time to understand what metaphysical teachings are, and more importantly, they haven't taken the time to understand what a cult is, because we're definitely not that. We're just not that. You can look up all the reasons, all the indicators of what a cult is, and we are not that. We do not ask you to give up all your money. We do not ask you to give up your family. We do not make you work insane hours for very little pay. We do not in any way fit the definition of a cult. So anyone that wants to say that we are just is ignorant of the truth. They haven't taken the time to understand what is metaphysics to begin with. It just means it's beyond the physics. Are there a number of cults that over time that have used various metaphysical teachings in their cult organizations? Absolutely. Does one apple spoil the whole barrel? Absolutely not. And in 20 years, I have yet to see a new thought cult. I have yet to see a new thought organization, and I'm pretty confident I never will. I have never seen a new thought organization, a CSL church, a science of mind group, a unity community, a divine science organization. I've never seen cult behavior or red flags in any of the organizations I have been affiliated with, aware of. I've never seen it, never heard of it. If anybody out there can find one, let me know. Althea, if I'm keeping, I don't want to keep you from your sleep. Thank you for being here, Althea. I'm grateful that you're with us, being a part of the fun that we're having tonight. So, final thoughts, final questions. The countdown has begun. We are under 4 minutes, and I'm going to guarantee, unless it's a really, really, really good, juicy question, I'm not going into overtime tonight. In what way do I believe in golden liquid light? I don't believe that light is liquid, but I do believe you can have golden liquid, and I believe you can have golden light. And I think that gold is a great representation of the divinity of light in life. Golden light all the time. Golden liquid, not always, most often. It's a very nice turn of a phrase, Wayne. It's a very nice turn of a phrase. 4 minutes and counting. Might be time to say our goodbyes. What was, oh, I know what yeah, now see, I didn't even, I put something together, folks, and I didn't even think about it, and I didn't do anything about it. Maybe I should have, but I had brought forward, I was going to share a video with you all that, let's see if we can do it anyway. Yeah, here it is. There's going to be, to get past the commercial. All right, I said it. I said I wasn't going into overtime, but we're going to. Here it is.
Joining us for some percussion and penny whistle, Mr. David Amram.
I've been asking this question all day long.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million tons,
will I buy you a house?
I would buy you a house.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million tons,
buy you furniture for your house.
maybe that's Chesterfield.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
will I buy you a K car?
All right. If you had $1 million, what would you do with it? And our final question of the night, will you be a blessing to the world? Yes, Wayne, I will. Will you? And will you? And will you? I believe we're all blessings to the world. I believe every one of us is a blessing to the world. And if you have $1 million, consider a donation to New Thought Media Network. We'll put your name on something. All right, folks, that is about it for me. I'm starting to feel a little punchy. Time for some nappy pie myself. It's time for some sleep myself. So please, again, join me tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Tomorrow morning, the Science of Mind and Spirit Saturday conversations, always a rousing good time. I look forward to being with you then. And so, all right, I am out of here for now. I thank you. I love you. I think you're amazing. And until next time, I want to wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.